Hello, I'm KB836,
And I'm CJ1799.
and today we are going to do a fan commentary on one of my all-time favorite movies, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited. I don't believe I've ever seen this movie before, so excited to see what we got and what's in store for us.
Yeah, so that this movie actually came out just a year before the first moon landing. This came out on April 10th, 1968.
Wow.
And yeah, so that this film was directed by Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick also did some other movies like Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, and are you familiar with those movies?
Actually, no.
Yeah.
But I don't know too much about all those movies, but I'm excited to see what we got here.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know?
So this movie is considered one of the most influential films of all time.
Really? Wow. Dang. Woo!
There we go, Metro Goldwyn-Mayer. Yeah, so and you've also heard of the opening theme before. Thus spoke Zarathustra. There,
Yes.
yeah, and
Space.
yeah, and so here we are.
Whoa. That's us.
Yep.
It's crazy. I think I see me.
Yeah, well, we weren't even born back then.
Oh.
So,
Okay, I see my dad.
yeah, my dad saw this movie on his 9th birthday.
Wow.
I don't think my mom saw this movie.
Mm.
No, but my dad thought this was the coolest movie he ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. 2001: A Space Odyssey. So why is it called? Because you said it came out when
68.
So why is it called 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah, because people back then thought we were gonna have futuristic technology in that year.
Makes sense. The dawn of man.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, this is what atheists believe. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, the Big Bang Theory.
Well, let's see what they claim that man came from.
Back when filming took place, Stanley Kubrick actually did most of the filming in England, because that was where he lived. But this is actually not in England. This is somewhere in Africa.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he actually had photographers in Africa to take pictures of these landscapes. Because Stanley had a fear of flying on airplanes, and so so he hired some photographers to take pictures of these open landscapes, and here we see we're getting our first skull, and then we're getting a full skeleton there.
Skeleton, yeah. Oh. So that's us, huh?
Well, that's what atheists believe.
Yeah. So are those supposed to be the people? Are those just actual?
During production, this actual people in costumes.
But does that represent humans?
Yeah.
Are those supposed to be like humans?
Yeah, how we evolved from apes to humans.
Interesting.
Yeah, the theory of evolution.
Yeah. It's interesting to think. So if they look like that now, why don't we see monkeys or apes going through that process today?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this was not shot in Africa. This was on a set, and they had the actors and that they had the actors and the animals in front of a projection screen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is that a real leopard or a cheetah?
Yeah, that's real, and that
And that's a person in there?
Yeah, well,
Oh no, poor guy.
yeah, well, it was during behind the scenes. I think the guy who was in the costume was an animal wrestler, and so
Oh, okay.
yeah, so he was yeah, so that both him and the animal were trained for that, and and yeah, so they put actual monkey sounds over this, like it was from a film like that was made years earlier. I think it was made in '53.
Yeah. I wonder what they're saying.
This is our drink now.
Right. So the other group left.
Yeah, they've left already.
Same. Whoa.
Yeah, that there is not an actual zebra. That was actually that was actually a dead horse painted to look like a zebra.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dang.
and so they put the leopard or jaguar, whatever it is, on top of it.
Yeah.
And now this scene right here, where that the gang that just got chewed out from the puddle, they're now in their habitat right here. It's nighttime and everything is all quiet, and we hear other noises in the distance. And the next scene is going to be a little more strange, because this is where like an unknown object that they've never seen before appears right in front of them, and they don't know what it is, and they surround it, and so that one in the middle right there, that's like that's an actual chimp that they were holding right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they did get a real chimp.
Yeah, there's like very few.
I wonder if he thought they were real. The guys in the costume.
I don't think so. Yeah, so here's the scene I was talking about where they see the unknown object, and we get ominous music again. Yeah, so this one sees the object, and then this part he alerts all of the others that there's an object right in front of them, and here it is.
From the future. Maybe. I've never seen this, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, so well, that is actually a black monolith.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
Yeah.
you know, it's made by an alien life form,
Oh, okay.
and there was also this one Phineas and Ferb episode where Dr. Doofenshmirtz was stranded on this island, and he made this fish skeleton-like machine, and all these crabs whom he likes to call his minions, all these crabs surround the skeleton fish thing, and and they're like, you know, putting their claws on it, like with
Really? I don't... Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched Phineas and Ferb, but
yeah. So anyways,
he's inspired by this.
yeah. So
Dang.
yeah. So and Dr. Doofenshmirtz tells Perry the platypus that the crabs are acting all Kubrick-y, because the director's Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah, it's a reference to this movie. Yeah, so he looks over to the monolith, and then he looks over to the skeleton. Like, what do these bones do? Can they be used as weapons? And so we get the main theme again. Yeah, so we hear the main theme, and then he grabs one of the bones, and then he starts to hit the other bones with it. Like, can this be used as a weapon? and that shot right there, that was outside of the studio. Yeah, so the actor was on top of a platform, and those were actual clouds out behind him. And so that he just killed an animal and got some of its meat.
Hmm.
And so,
Is this the rival gang?
yeah, the rival gang is right by the puddle, and there's the other gang with the bones. They start to have a showdown here.
Oh, got him. Wow. Oh no.
Even though he's already dead.
Gosh.
And then this next part right here, where the leader throws the bone up in the air, we get an aerial shot of the bone up in the air. And then there's going to be this jump cut right here. This is a famous jump cut that comes right here. So we get an aerial view of the bone, and here's this jump cut right here.
Dang. So now we're in the present, right?
Yep.
Or 1968? Or is that just when the movie came out, right?
Yeah, that's when it came out.
So what? I guess it'll tell us probably what year. Right?
Well, it actually doesn't say what year it is, but
okay.
And so the way how they made the pen floating around like that was that they put it on a sheet of plexiglass to create the effect that it's floating in midair.
Mm.
And right there we see a flight attendant, and we get a shot of her feet, and it says she has grip shoes, like, because it's in a weightless environment, and she has those shoes
that's cool.
that help her stay on the ground, and you can also tell that her walk is like slightly off, and there she grabs the pen, and you can't even see the sheet of plexiglass. And the way how they did the ships and the station, those were all models. And here's this other thing that they did, very groundbreaking, because when you see like a station view, like in a spaceship, we just see like a matte painting of people inside it.
Mm-hmm.
But this right here, these people are moving inside the station. That was all done with film, not CG. And there's also some people upside down there. That's done with film as well. And like that had never been done before.
Yeah.
And that blew my dad's mind away. And then here's this other shot right here, because you can see the
like curvature.
Yeah, the curvature of the outer ring. I'm not quite sure how long this set is, but it's very impressive for the 60s.
Yeah.
Frankly, we have had some very reliable intelligence reports that quite a serious epidemic has broken out into claims. Something apparently of an unknown origin.
So what is this room?
They're inside that big ship.
Yeah.
That's like the, I always forget what they call this room, but it's like the quarters.
Like a lounge or something?
Yeah. And there was also one part in this scene which blew my dad's mind away. Was where because we're in a weightless environment, and one of the attendants walks upside down. And the way how they achieved that effect, like right here on this scene, they had a rotating set, and the camera was mounted on the set to create the effect like she was walking up on the ceiling.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
And so I know that's a model.
Yeah.
And you can see all the detail on the base. And this next part right here, the interior of the base. The lander is on top of that platform up there. See, it's already coming down, and we also see some people walking inside. That's all done with film. And this is the part where he's going to discuss the epidemic at the base. Yeah, because when the Russian scientist said that there was an epidemic, that was something of an unknown origin.
Oh, I think I know where it's going.
And so here we are. We're already in the moon bus scene. They're headed over to another part of the base. And so these shots right here, I think this. I think some of these were paintings, and some of them were handcrafted.
Yeah.
What's more, the evidence seems pretty conclusive that it hasn't been covered up by natural erosion or other forces. It seems to have been deliberately buried. Deliberately buried.
Because what they said earlier when he said that the object was deliberately buried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was buried by alien life form. The object that they haven't seen yet, but we saw it earlier.
Yeah.
You see, there it is, right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the monolith that we saw earlier.
That's so interesting because now it's on the moon.
You know, during production, this was actually the first day of filming.
This scene right here.
Yeah, because I think the filming took place in 64 or 65.
Yeah, I would not think this is something that was shot in the 60s, you know?
Right, it almost looks modern.
Yeah.
And so, these handheld shots that we see throughout some parts of the movie, the handheld shots were all done by Stanley Kubrick himself.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Ridley Scott also did the same thing for Alien.
Yeah.
And so here's the part where Dr. Floyd is now...
Don't do it.
like what the apes did.
Don't do it. Like Finding Nemo. When they touch the shit. Remember that?
I'm gonna go touch
it. He just touches it. Boom.
And then Nemo just goes like... And so here's this part right here where they're taking a group picture in front of it.
Yeah.
And then here's another part that happens.
Is it like coming through their headsets?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a high pitched radio signal, and it's like the monolith is like sending it out in the far reaches of space. And so right there, Jupiter mission, 18 months later. Yeah. So so basically what happened was the monolith like sent a powerful transmission out into space, and it actually sent it towards Jupiter. Now that there was another monolith close to Jupiter.
Wow.
And so we
probably on one of the moons, right?
And so right here, so right here we get this very long ship called Discovery 1.
Yeah.
It holds 5 astronauts, and it's controlled by a computer named Hal. And I really like the way how they did this shot of someone exercising. Is that the camera is mounted on this huge rotating set, and the actor is like jogging inside.
He's running in circles.
Yeah. And so there he is exercising. His name is Frank. Yeah. So the way how they did this. So we saw that guy who was walking through that hallway. He actually wasn't rotating in that hallway. That this whole thing is actually rotating to create artificial gravity, because he's walking along there, and so because when you're walking along that hallway right down there, you're actually weightless, and you have those like sticky shoes.
Oh, okay, nice. So what is he doing?
Yes, yeah. So he's already finished working out, and he's
Oh, he looks like he's eating, and
Yeah.
Is that like the news?
yeah, the world tonight. And then there's one thing that I forgot to mention, that this ship Discovery 1, the whole model was measured 54 feet in length. And you can,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
actually see all the detail in it.
Looks like something from Star Wars.
Yeah, well, this was way before Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars was like what? Started in the 80s?
Yeah,
Or?
77.
Okay.
You know, one thing about this is that if they made the cake, then why isn't then Frank even there?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, because his dad said, "Does the cake look great? Sorry, you can't join us."
Like roasted.
And now this next shot right here, where Frank and Dave are standing 90 degrees opposite each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the way how they did this effect was they were standing on an L-shaped set, and the camera would be facing down on Frank there, and Dave would be standing in front of a mirror. Set,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, set at an angle, creating the effect that they're 90 degrees opposite each other.
Yeah.
And then this part right here, the way how they did this effect, this part right here where they start rotating within it, the way how they did this effect was that the camera was mounted onto this part of the set, and that when they were walking along that hallway, they would be stationary, and once they go into that part of the hallway, they would also be stationary, while the camera would be rotating within the hallway,
Dang.
creating the effect like they're defying gravity.
X-ray Delta 1, this is...
And so here's the part where he is going EVA, and he's going to check for the fault in that big radar dish.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing about this movie is that I think this was actually the very first movie that was very accurate about the vacuum of space.
Okay, yeah.
Because right now you only hear the oxygen hose and Dave breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And this part right here where he's like way out there and they're like right above the radar dish. But in real life he would actually be like very close to the radar dish to check on it. But for a dramatic effect, he's just like way out there doing a very risky space jump. Yeah, so here they are. They're talking with Mission Control again, and so the guy in Mission Control says that their findings indicate that the 9000 computer is an error predicting the fault.
Interesting.
And this is the part where they start feeling a little strange about Hal. And so this is the part where he turns off all the audio communications so that Hal won't hear them.
Mm.
Ooh, trying to read their lips.
Yep. And this is where he's starting to realize that they're planning to shut him off.
Oh, wow.
Star Wars.
One day when I showed you and Derek the performance of The Planets,
Yeah.
by Holst, John Williams was actually inspired by Holst.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why he did that. The music that sounded very similar to The Planets.
Wow, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's Frank going out on EVA,
Mm.
and then there's something strange going on with the pod there.
Is that the pod? Oh.
So did he, like, kill him, essentially?
Yeah. So one of those claws on those arms, severed his oxygen hose,
Oh, wow.
and so now he's drifting off into space right now, and so now Dave is now going in one of the other pods to rescue Frank.
She's going to rescue him.
Yeah, he is.
I guess he doesn't know that he's dead, right?
Right, and he also didn't know that that
How
Hal
did that?
read their lips.
Oh, yeah. Does Hal have control over his little, like, pod?
Yeah, he has control over the whole,
Everything.
over everything. And so we're now back into the centrifuge part of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're now getting shots of the 3 other members in hibernation.
Mm.
And now this next part, which happens right here, we see the life functions right here on the screen. And then here's this part.
Uh-oh. Is he killing them too?
Yeah, because for first he killed Frank while he was out there.
Oh,
now
gosh.
now he's killing them.
So 2 of them are dead. Oh, there's the 3rd one. Dang.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
All right, Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
So is he gonna try and dock?
Well, he said he was gonna go through the emergency airlock.
Yeah.
And so right here he's now letting Frank go. I mean that honestly sucks though. Like, your friend is already dead and you have to let him go.
Yeah.
Everyone, all the other astronauts are dead too.
Yeah.
That were hibernating. He doesn't even know that yet, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't think he does know at this point. And so now you can see that the claws are now active on the arms. And this was another scene that my dad thought was very cool. The way how the arms worked. You can tell by the look on his face that he's really nervous right now.
Yeah. Oof.
And then they immediately close the hatch. And then all the air is now coming in to repressurize the airlock.
Yeah.
You know, I think Dave was smart to put another helmet on, like the one that was near the hatch,
Yeah.
because he wondered that if Hal cut off the oxygen supply,
Yeah.
because he was pretty sure that Hal wanted him killed.
Yeah.
Too, because so he was smart to put that helmet on. He's now going into Hal's brain room, and he's going to shut him off.
So he's just trying to convince him not to do it?
Well, at first he was telling him to stop, and then he's telling him that he's afraid.
Yeah.
That his mind was going, like he said, and now he's saying that he became operational at the HAO plant, and his instructor, Mr. Langley, taught him to sing a song, which was Daisy.
Which for security reasons,
Who's that talking to him?
That's Dr. Floyd. Remember from earlier in the film?
Yeah.
during the mission,
Yeah. So Hal is already deactivated, and that pre-recorded message right there with Dr. Floyd. He said that message right there was known only to Hal and not the rest of the crew. And so now he's saying that about what happened 18 months prior to the Jupiter mission. There was
Yeah.
the epidemic at the moon,
buried 40 feet below the lunar surface.
and he's saying that the monolith on the moon sent that transmission in deep space all the way to Jupiter.
Yeah. And so they made it, or he made it.
Yeah, he made it, and there it is right there.
Oh wow.
And we got the ominous music again. And you can see the moons going around Jupiter.
Yeah. Oh, and he's like right next to it. Oh, they're all aligned.
I really like that shot right there with all the moons there.
Yeah, that's really cool. So is he inside of it?
Well, technically, this is what it's called a Stargate sequence.
Oh, so he's like being teleported, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so right there, he's like, hey, he's not sure what's going on right now, and he's like being pulled into this big wormhole like thing.
Space time. Reminds me of Interstellar.
Yeah, the way how they did this effect was it's called slit scan photography. It was that they had this camera mounted on a dolly. And it had a long frame time exposure, and they would have this huge, this long sheet of painted glass behind this black sheet of paper with a slit in between, and the camera would slowly move forward towards the slit, while the big sheet of painted glass would slowly be moving as well from side to side.
Okay.
And so that was how they made that effect.
So how did he get into this?
Sorry?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out like how this happened, like how he went through this, I guess, like Stargate or whatever. Did it have to do something with like the planets aligning and the monolith being there, or will they like explain it?
My guess it would be the monolith.
Yeah. That was a cool transition there. To his eye.
And the way how they did these shots of all these stars and galaxies and all that stuff. Stanley Kubrick actually did these. He put drops of paint inside a dark container of water, and so that this was like long before filming took place.
What?
You know, once this movie is over, I'll explain the ending.
Who's that? Is that him?
Yeah.
And that's also him.
That's still him.
Oh. Where'd he go?
Yeah, so that's an older version of him because we saw the close up of him. He's all wrinkly.
Yeah, the pod disappeared.
Yeah, so that's also him.
Really?
Yeah. And this part right here, he's near death, and
yeah.
Yeah, my dad would sometimes say that the makeup on his face is very well done.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Hi, how are you? Oh, what is that? Fetus?
And we're hearing the main theme again.
What? Okay, Kyler. Explain.
Okay.
I am confused.
All right. I don't blame you.
I don't know what just happened.
Right. So it says here, this is an interview with Stanley Kubrick in 1980. Stanley says here, the idea was supposed to be that he is taken by godlike entities, creatures of pure energy and intelligence with no shape or form, and they put him in what I suppose you could describe as a human zoo to study him, and his whole life passes from that point on in that room. He has no sense of time. It just seems to happen as it does in the film. They choose this room, which is a very inaccurate replica of French architecture, deliberately so inaccurate, because one was suggesting that they had some idea of something that he might think was pretty, but wasn't quite sure. Just as we are not quite sure what to do in zoos with animals, to try to give them what we think is their natural environment. When they get finished with him, as happens in so many myths of all cultures in the world, he is transformed into some kind of super being and sent back to Earth, transformed and made into some kind of Superman. We have only to guess what happens when he goes back. It is the pattern of a great deal of mythology, and that was what we were trying to suggest.
Interesting.
My dad, when he saw this, he was also confused with the ending.
Yeah, I can understand why. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this was our review of my all-time favorite movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey, from 1968. And I'm pretty sure you enjoyed this, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking, too, those little stars, you know how there's like maybe 6 or 7 of them? I bet you those were like the aliens, or the supernatural beings or whatever. You know?
Those diamonds?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, those were alien life form.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy. Dang. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Definitely had to explain the ending, but good movie, good movie.